Mother's Day serves as an annual celebration of mothers, motherhood, and all the elements bound up in maternal bonds. As I think about this day and my mother, my wife, and many of the other wonderful mothers in my life, the poem Tribute to Mother comes to mind. A picture memory brings to me, I look across the years and see myself beside my mother's knee. I feel her gentle hand restrain my selfish moods and know again a child's blind sense of wrong and pain. But wiser now, a man gray grown, my childhood's needs are better known, my mother's chastising love I own. Now don't let the brevity of this poem distract from its beauty. This is a powerful reflection by John Whittier, which emphasizes an essential part of Mother's Day. And that's our reflections on the impacts our mothers, grandmothers, and other important mothers have had on our lives and in society as a whole. And this is no different from mothers in the Bible. Throughout the story of God's redemptive plan, we find that women and oftentimes mothers serve a crucial and integral part in the narrative. Now, over the next few days, myself and several of my colleagues will take just a few minutes to honor the incredible roles mothers have played in the Bible. It's our hope that you'll come away with a fresh perspective of some of these incredible women, that you'll see the beautiful way in which the Bible displays God's love and respect for women and motherhood. And also, we hope that these videos will serve as sort of short love letters to all the mothers out there as this special day approaches. Now today I'd like to briefly talk about a rather obscure biblical mother. Her name is mentioned only once in the entire Bible, yet her influence has historically been incalculable. And ironically, isn't that the story of so many mothers we know? They operate behind the scenes, never seeking notoriety, but the impact of their faithfulness is like ripples in a pond that keep growing and growing and growing. And her name is Eunice. She was the mother of Timothy, a young man who served as a disciple and companion of Paul, and Paul being the apostle of Jesus and the New Testament writer. And in the book of 2 Timothy, specifically chapter 1, verse 5, we find that Paul gives a recollection concerning Timothy's rich and formative heritage. He says, I recall your sincere faith that first lived in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice, and I am convinced is in you also. Paul is reiterating the fact that through Eunice's tutelage of Timothy, by her instructing him and serving as a model example, she's helped to cultivate a fertile foundation that has blossomed into the wise and faithful young man that Paul has come to know. And in the first letter that Paul wrote to Timothy, he makes this very clear. In fact, this verse, 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12, is one that my oldest son and I frequently discuss. Here Paul says to Timothy, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech and conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Though he is young, his youth should not hinder him from being an influential ambassador and representative of Jesus Christ. Now, interestingly, Timothy's household growing up was of a mixed cultural and religious background. You see, his father was a Gentile or a non-Jewish person, while Eunice was possibly raised as Christian by her mother Lois, who likely converted from Judaism. In Jewish homes, the father typically educated their sons in religious matters, but since Timothy's father was not Jewish, this responsibility of teaching him the Holy Scriptures fell on the shoulders of his mother Eunice. So why then do I say that her influence has historically been incalculable? Well, Paul commissioned Timothy during various points of their journeys. When Paul heard that the Thessalonian church encountered some spiritual issues, he sent Timothy to encourage them during a time of persecution. Paul sent him as a representative to the church in the city of Corinth, and when Paul was in prison, he sent Timothy to the cities of Philippi and Ephesus. And there were other crucial missions where Paul commissioned Timothy. But just think about the sheer number of people that Timothy likely influenced throughout his life. How the spiritual needs he planted in the minds and hearts of people from various cities grew over time, and the message of Jesus Christ was heard and embraced by many. And this all started with the devotion and faithfulness and guidance of a woman whose name is only mentioned once in the Bible, his mother, Eunice. If you're a mother out there who's been laboring for your family, your friends, your church, and somewhat of anonymity, please know that your efforts are immensely cherished and appreciated. God valued this woman, this mother, so much that her name was included in such a glowing manner in his story of his redemptive plan for all of humanity. Eunice's faithfulness and her story will continue to reverberate and be a source of encouragement for many, many years to come. Now, in closing, Toni Morrison, a Nobel laureate, said this in her famous novel, The Bluest Eye. Misery, colored by the greens and blues in my mother's voice, it took away all the grief out of the words and left me with the conviction that pain was not only endurable, it was sweet. It's interesting that mothers seem to have this intrinsic power and influence where their mere presence or voice can serve as a soothing balm no matter what the situation entails. I suppose that's why the Old Testament prophet Isaiah used these words to personify God's calming love. As a mother comforts her child, so will I comfort you. To all the mothers watching, thank you. We appreciate you, we love you, and we value you. And may God continue to bless you and your family. Have a great and hopefully restful Mother's Day.